Om Gum Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Hello there, so this one's being made with me being in water, and that's to do with the film I made last night. And when I got out of bed this morning, it was like, go into water to make this film, so I am. So I have the roses, as you can see, and the lit candle, and the bracelet on the left, which has got the flyagaric mushroom and ladybird spirits on it, thanks to my dear niece. So the first thing I want to share with you is the 5 love languages. And these came from a work of fiction, the title and author of which I forget. So here we go, and it says, people give and receive love in different ways. And the first one is through gifts. So this is one of the love languages. People give things to people. And many people greatly appreciate gifts. For some people, gifts are horrendous triggers, as it reminds them of times in the past when they were given gifts as a substitute for love. But for some people, gift giving and receiving is the way that love is exchanged. The second way is acts of service. And this is one I particularly relate to, and I think I probably picked this one up from my mother very unconsciously. But I like doing things for people, especially physical things with my hands. I like cleaning, I like washing dishes, I like doing really mundane things, and they make an excellent counterpoint to the shamanic work that I do. It's okay to go off into these wonderful realms, but it's also really more than okay to be in the physical realms and do something really physical. I also like making things for people as well. And I had a great pleasure yesterday to make a birthday card for my oldest friend, who I've known for longer than any other human being on the planet, outside of my family. Gosh, how about that? Yeah. And then the third one, which is one that we're very familiar with, and that's physical touch. And I know someone, and pretty much my first experience with this person is when she greeted me, she touched me just very lightly on the body, just for a moment. And so I understand that for this person in question, physical touch is clearly one of her strong 5 love languages, and it's also one of mine too. When I feel safe enough, I do greatly appreciate being able to give and receive physical touch. Gifts, I like gifts, but it's not so important. Acts of service, very important for me. Physical touch, very important for me. And the fourth one, verbal. Saying it in words, using words to express love, with the classic I love you. This one for me is less important than the acts of service and the physical touch, but I still am very deeply moved by it nonetheless. And I guess my issue I have is I do know people who declare their love for each other every time they're about to leave each other. In other words, when someone's going to go off and do some work or go and visit someone or do the shopping, just before they leave they say, I love you. This one I struggle with. This one is a trigger for me. I have no idea why. So I do like verbal, but also not too much in my case. And indeed, the woman with whom I had 2 children and married, and she died in 2005, what she used to do to me is she used to say to me, do you love me? Over and over and over again. Many thousands of times in our long relationship. And every time she used to say that, I used to wince. I don't know whether it was visible, but I used to wince inside, because when I heard the words, do you love me, that to me implied that the acts of service of physical touch, it wasn't being heard. And in fact, on reflection, I can see that for that person, the woman I was married to, verbal was so important that for her, what she was doing, I didn't understand it at the time, but I can see now that for her, she needed to hear it every day verbally. And what I was doing is I was doing acts of service and physical touch and gifts as well sometimes. But much more acts of service and physical touch. So you can see this is quite a significant subject, isn't it? And I guess what I'm asking you to do is to reflect on your own life and see how you feel about these 5 languages, these 5 love languages for yourself. How do you feel about them? Which are the ones that do it for you? Which are the ones that trigger it for you? So I have someone I know who is triggered by gifts. I myself am triggered by excessive, in my opinion, requests for verbal reassurance about love. So that's 4, so here's number 5. Number 5 is time given. And this is one that I feel very strongly about indeed. In fact, for me, I feel it's perhaps one of the ultimate ones. And I know that when someone chooses to give me of their time to be with me and have time together, I don't want to use the expression spend time. We spend money. I don't like the idea of spending time. That triggers me. I don't feel right about it. But the idea of giving time, the idea of being available with time, that feels really good. So time given, I would potentially argue that time given is perhaps the most significant one of all. And I'm very aware that if I haven't seen my grandson more than a certain length of time, I really want to go and give him some time. And yesterday we ended up playing the T-Rex game, whereby we've each got a little car and we go up to the T-Rex and he presses the button on the T-Rex's head and the T-Rex roars, and I pretend that my little car is very frightened because it's very small, and it drives away very quickly and we hide until the roaring sounds stop. And as soon as we finish, we go back into the same thing again and again and again and again and again. And so for me, time given is a really important love language. But I reckon they're all important. And my invitation to you, first of all, is to give this some consideration. See which love languages you resonate with, which do you really enjoy giving and receiving, which ones trigger you, which ones upset you. And if you'd be so kind and you'd like to leave a comment, it'd be so lovely to receive what you have to say, whatever it is. Because the thing is, we're all so different, we're all humans, and yet we're also radically different. And sometimes we're with people where our love languages match, and sometimes you've got a strong mismatch, like I had in my marriage, where clearly the woman I was married to wanted so much more verbal than I was able to give. I was much less aware, particularly of the acts of service. That's what I feel, with hindsight. So see how it is for you, and please comment, because that's really helpful to everyone who watches the film, so we can start a dialogue. And in order to make these notes, which I did on my iPad, I found an image of a beautiful pink rose, so it feels really appropriate to have the roses in the frame where I'm talking to you. And as I reckon many of us know, one of the love languages is the giving and the receiving of roses. So that could perhaps be a 6th one I just made up. All the love to you.